Hello, my name is B.McClellan, and this is my icebreaker. I live in New Rochelle, New York. I originally am from Connecticut. Here is a picture of me on the far right. My family took a trip to the White Mountains. So there is me with my youngest, Felix, who's about almost 2 in the Osprey, my oldest son, who is 3 years old, and my wife, who is also an educator. So I teach at Susan B. Anthony. I am the library media specialist there. I feel very privileged. This is my second year. It is a middle school serving grades 6 through 8, and it is 1,400 students, and it is in Hollis, Queens. I really enjoy working in the library. Here's a picture of the nonfiction section. It's unfortunately the only really good picture I have of the library itself. I'm working on expanding the collection, dealing with some of the bookshelves you can see on the left, which unfortunately have seen better days. And I'm trying to put in new things like a makerspace. But my one disappointment with the space is that, well, one, we don't have too much technology access. I couldn't bring in a class to use laptops. The other is those windows that you're seeing in this picture are the only ones, and usually I'm on the other side of the room, so I really don't get a chance to see sunlight while I'm in the library. So I'd like to talk about my accomplishments. So two that came to mind. Right now, I feel like so much of my energy right now is going into our very young family. So I feel very proud that our 2 young boys are so happy and so healthy. On the other side, thinking about my educational experience, it is my Master's of Art in TESOL. It was a very rigorous program that I went to at the Monterey Institute of International Studies. Now it's the Middlebury Institute of International Studies to show off the connection with Middlebury College. And I found it a really intense program. And when I think about what I did in that program, I'm really grateful for what I learned and how much effort I put into it. So I want to talk about 3 challenges facing education. So I think one of the big ones is inequality. As we can see, certain school districts have all the resources, more than enough resources that they need, and they don't have to buy supplies, and they can do wonderful trips and wonderful things, while others do not. And often those that struggle to ends meet and where teachers have to buy their own supplies, students are also bringing in a number of issues as they are dealing with poverty, and they're dealing with issues at home that impacts the classroom. One of the second issues is starting with the Common Core and continuing. There is a nationalization of standards. We're trying to make sure that no matter where you are within the United States, that you are getting basic literacy in a variety of different disciplines, and that you are able to use these skills within the real world. However, there's been a lot of pushback. I think a lot of misinformation, but struggling to make sure that students get what they deserve. And then I think this is the third one. I think with every positive that comes with technology, there is one negative. So 2 steps forward, 1 step back, I think we should say. And I think for us, for all the good that technology has brought and our access to information online, we need to go back and make sure that with automation, so many things that we are teaching perseverance. Because so often, as you well know, within information fluency, and I'll bring this up on the next slide, students often want to go for the first answer, the first response, because so many of the resources that we have are free. So how do we address this? I think one of the things that we can do is when possible, we should be doing project-based learning, so that we're doing multiple steps and that students are um, doing two things. One, they are constructing their own knowledge. So that goes into the constructive approach, but also we're learning collaboratively. So a part of project-based learning not only with constructing their own knowledge, but it's also about working with other people, because I think more and more the economy and the workplace that our future generations are going to be learning in and working in are going to be collaborative environments. I think we need to consistently keep looking for a constructive approach. Students are not only demonstrating their knowledge, but they are creating and they are applying. So I think those two things pair very well with project-based learning. Another thing that I think we need to teach and be very challenging is teaching with multiple approaches. So there are similar paths. While there might be one answer, we can teach multiple approaches to arrive at that one solution. And then on the final one, I think is information fluency. As I mentioned with the example with Google, there is the opportunity where we might only want to look at the first one or two hits of what we get and get frustrated at the difficulty of finding certain pieces of information. And I think by teaching information fluency, we can stop ourselves and say, no, this is not what I'm looking for. This is misinformation. This is misleading. This isn't academic, or I needed more information. I need a different source. And when we stop and say that, we take a different approach and we find more of what we need. So thank you very much. And I hope this tells you a little bit about myself. Thank you.